All right, so on these, this is the start of where, I've been saying it's the hardest stuff we're going to do all year. This is where you should start realizing where it's getting hard. Because now with this question 1, actually going back to yesterday, you knew how to do all of these. They were straight out of your notes. You guys aced them. You did great. But now that I've scrambled them is when it gets a little complicated. This is what I think is the hardest stuff we're going to do all year. Trent actually started off, the first thing he asked me when he started doing this, well, do I do both the P and the S waves for number 1? And I specifically did not say yes or no, because I wanted you to be able to interpret this to say, okay, do I do the thing we did on Friday, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday is basically what you need to learn. So yesterday we talked about those key words. Do you remember which key words use scrap paper? Arrival. So when they start talking about arrival, arrived, arrival. When they start using the words arrived, that is you picturing me acting like a fool in front of you, slamming scrap paper down in front of you. So these first 3, they were ones that needed to use scrap paper. What were the key words in the other 2 that gave you hints that you did not need scrap paper? Not difference, because difference is scrap paper. Okay. Travel. When they're talking about travel. Oh, how long does it take you to travel? Sorry, wrong T word. Travel is your hint to not do the scrap paper. Now, remember, I did say you could be using scrap paper as a straight edge in this case, but you're not doing the whole mark off the scrap paper and move it around. You're just using it as a straight edge in that case. So with that being said, hopefully you were able to do these pretty good. You just needed your reference table and a scrap sheet of paper for a couple of them. So shoot, does anybody see my answer key? Oh, there it is. So, for the first one, you just had to mark off the 0 and the 340, which I already have it marked off the 0, 340, slid it up to where you thought it fit. My answer for that one was around 2,300. I saw some slightly different answers, like 2,100. That's fine too. 100 higher, 200 higher, 200 lower. With this one, you did have to subtract first, and I saw a lot of you stop there. Remember, you always put the bigger number on top because there's no such thing as negative time. So 10, 15, 40 is, what is that? 7 minutes and 40 seconds after 10:08. Yeah.
Like on the regions, does that have to be exact? Or so like 200?
So they will give you some wiggle room. It's sometimes it's 100, sometimes it's 200, depending on like how obvious it is on the reference table. They're not that mean that they make you be exact. So they do give you enough wiggle room for whatever problem. If you're doing it even remotely right, you'll be okay. So again, when you subtracted this, you should have gotten 7 minutes, 40 seconds for this one, but that is not the answer. That just makes it now like this question. You know how long the difference is. Go ahead and mark that off on your scrap paper. When I did it, I got 6,100. And then determine the difference in the arrival time. If a station is 4,400 kilometers away, mine was exactly 6 minutes for that. And then also for question 4 and 5, how many different answers did you need? Ooh, 2, because it does say state how far it takes for the P and S waves. Same here, S waves. So for that, I got for my P wave 6,200 and my S wave 2,800. Guys, just get in the habit of labeling them, because if normally you'd put the P wave first, then the S wave, but it doesn't really matter as long as you label them. And then down here, I got 4 minutes and 10 seconds and 7 minutes and 40 seconds. So hopefully that is getting you a little more comfortable. We're going to do this one more time tomorrow, and then continue watching the movie. And clearly we're going to be doing it even more after break.